Number one, this is a great question and kind of a storyline to follow throughout the season. What was more impressive this weekend, FM's performance at Chinangwa Invitational or
Chinango.
Loudoun Valley's
Okay.
big win at PTXC 10?
We still got that one right.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with Loudoun Valley. I think there was more depth. There was a bigger team field, more people there. They raced bigger. Looking at it though, the speed ratings, it is really close. I was trying to quickly, again, my math is not my strong suit, but I was trying to do the numbers and add up the scores if you speed rated them, who would fit in where, and I think that FM would still have a slight advantage over Loudoun Valley, but I'm not counting out Loudoun Valley because you're not also adding in Sam Affolder, who I'm sure would have been up there. So it's not a full race from Loudoun Valley, but I think what we saw from them was outstanding.
Yeah, I think who impressed the most, I would go FM, just because we knew what Loudoun Valley was, especially without Affolder. We kind of knew what they had going in, but we knew FM was good, but they're really good. Yeah. For that first race of the season and just knocking the rust off, that especially their top three are kill. Like their top two are as good as any top two in the country right now, as good as Loudoun Valley's as good as any of Loudoun Valley's guys are. So it's not like the FM last year didn't have necessarily the individuals who could contend at an elite level with the individuals at Loudoun Valley. This year they proved that. I mean, FM with Brennan and Howells up top are as good as any two, 1-2 punch as anyone in the country. They have that depth at the back end to figure out as is Loudoun Valley. But I think that's the more game changer this year is if those two guys are just as good as Loudoun Valley's one too. This becomes a whole lot more interesting because last year, and no one could compete with those elite level guys that Loudoun Valley has. But now FM has that talent back, and so I think that's why for me, it was more impressive to see their season opener, just also not expecting that from FM to be racing that well early on. And it was pretty big.
I do think FM validated sort of everybody's expectations of them, going in at number 2 on the season. Mm-hmm. They were 2, right?
Yep.
Obviously they finished 2 last year at Nationals. And
they were 3.
They were 3 last year.
No, they were 3 on the national rankings heading into the season preseason.
Okay, so 2 at NXN last year.
Yes.
3 on the national rankings. I think they validated that, obviously, by performing really well. But the meet itself, I wasn't really too fond of. Obviously, 15 teams. They're going to run well against some of those teams in New York.
I think the big thing we have to look at now, and then we had Doug Souls on, I think it was last week, right?
Yeah.
Is I want to see what what Great Oak can do. With the whole team together, not running those races by grade. I want to see what they can throw down at Woodbridge. I think that's a tall tale sign of the true depth, and when they get to all run together in one big race and see how these things match up, because I think this is going to make it real interesting at the top and make it very tough for us to try to figure everything out and who gets ranked where.
Keep this in mind with Loudoun Valley, too, at PTXC. Connor Wells, it was, I think, 3 for them last year at Nationals. He was 6th here at PTXC. There are 2 big transfers, Carlos Schultz and Mateo Barreto, were in, I think, the top 5. And without Sam, I just think they have an extreme amount of depth that's, silly right now. It's silly. It's silly. But Loudoun Valley is, for me, unquestioned the number 1.